and the media are mass media, and there's a lot of power behind it. I think there's still it's still not too late to argue for the sake of the subject as a sovereign of perception. I would completely, I'm the wrong one to address when you think I would underestimate an audience. My pieces are over complex enough, and I really highly estimate the possibility of an audience. And I think even in a political way, I think that intelligence is something which is ansteckend. Infectious, yes. I think, and I can see that in my pieces also, that like 500, 600, 700, 800 people who see such a piece, they are more clever than the little crew who has designed it. And they come to me later with comments and things they've seen and they've heard, which I've never thought of. And I'm very happy about this. And I think I don't underestimate it when I was afraid. I admit that I was afraid when I did this piece with 90 minutes of 20th century string quartet music, which is already hardcore experience for a lot of people who never go into concerts, with Canetti texts, which are complex by itself enough, in French, and then with an actor who leaves the stage after 20 minutes. I thought this will be a very difficult piece. And I completely agree, because our capacities are so much growing. We can really, when we look at MTV or CNN, we really look 5, 6, 7 information at the same time. And this piece had an incredible response all over the world. And even where nobody knows Canetti, even where nobody speaks French. And all these people, they had also to read the subtitles, which is a nice filter, actually. I remember, and let me maybe add this, I remember when we performed this piece in Paris. Of course, we didn't need the subtitles because everybody speaks French. And I was missing something. And I said, something's missing tonight. And then I found out it was the subtitles, because it's such a nice filter against the intensity and the conventional presence of an actor, is that you can always say, okay, you can sweat, you can scream at us, you can play your ass off, but I'm first reading this sentence. And it has also to do with the reading quality of the texts of Canetti, because they were written to be read and not to be heard. And actually, before I opened this piece in 2004, 1 week before, we still didn't have the rights to do it, and we found the Fischer Verlag, not Fischer Verlag, it was Hansa Verlag, I think, Germany. We found them and said, yes, we have a huge problem, because we now found in the testament of Canetti that he said his texts are to be read and his pieces are to be played. And I'm doing the opposite. You're not directing his pieces, I'm directing his words, his prose and his notebooks. So we had shaky 8 days until we finally, by his daughter, got the license to do that. But I think there's, especially in the time of overwhelming totalitarian access of media on us, I think it's very important to look back to the potential, not to what Brecht actually did was boring, but to the potential of his theory, and that I wouldn't throw it away, because I think there's enormous potential also in his Lehrstücke and in his theory of alienation and of separation of elements, and now we are able to do it. He wasn't able to do it. He didn't have the technique, he didn't have the microphones to separate from big. We can do it. Bob Wilson can do it. A lot of media can do it now. But as a potential, I think it's still worth reading.
Okay. Last question?
2 more.
Yes. I just would love to add something to the topic of complexity. Probably you will agree that there are 2 levels of complexity. The complexity of what is presented to you, like tons of material, but the perception or the reflection on it might be quite simple because it doesn't do anything with you, or you just have 2 elements which are have such a complex relationship to another that you really it generates a lot of complex reflection on it and reaction on it, and that's probably something you're after, right?
I think for me it's even more important is the gap between the elements. I think the gap is the space where we constitute ourselves as a subject in the audience, and I think media is totalitarian when it doesn't leave these gaps between its axes.
Last question, Virginia.
Two nights ago, the English author Julian Barnes was here, and one question from the audience was if his story that he read us would be filmed and things like that. One thing he said was, "I hate when the music tells me what to feel," and that's absolutely naturally not the case here. But what I found happened, and what I found was happening to me as soon as the film took on an extraordinarily important life of its own, was that I felt the music was trying to catch up with something, not with a meaning, or not with the gestures, not with the rhythm even of the man going to the car, driving, going in, even these. But I felt that, I don't know what it was, and I'm really frustrated because I don't know if it's true, but I felt as if the music, possibly also I was thinking of the title, Desperately Seeking Something That Has Been Lost, and I don't know why, but I kept thinking, or I kept feeling, the music was trying to grasp something or catch up with something. It's really that was really irritating. And I don't know if it's because we're so visually oriented that the film was once again, pushing itself into our consciousness more so than the music, and the figures became so small. The musicians until the last, when they were then full. It was really annoying. I don't know why.
I don't know exactly what you mean, but maybe it could be just one idea, maybe I'm completely wrong. It could be the fact that we turned the role of image and music upside down, and we are all used to see the opposite. We are used that the music is completely, no, he disagrees.
I disagree.
We are used that the music accompanies perfectly an image, and there was a permanent also desynchronization, and the music goes somewhere, of course, anyway, because it's a wonderful piece of music which goes somewhere, and it doesn't follow a film logic. And I think that's a point also which could have a sort of could keep a sort of unrest feeling also, because it doesn't satisfy the image. It never satisfies the image.
But your title must mean something. You must have some idea of what's lost, no?
Actually, I love the title because of its rhythm and of its sound, and I love the title because I have three stages on which this piece is performed. First of all, in the theaters where they perform it. Second, from the box office, where the people try to say it, or where they try to make up something which sounds similar, like Erika and Katja and things like this. And second, also the internet, because this word just existed, I think, when you went on search machines. It just existed with two names, announcement, and now we have, like, I don't know, 15,000, 20,000 in Google. So it had its own. Somehow this word came back into the world of recognition.
I still suspect these answers are evading the answer, because there must be a feeling of loss, which desperately seeking is certainly could be a kind of positive thing. But what kind of loss is it? The general condition of life, or what is it? Is it just totally meaningless?
I don't consider it as something. I think I rather would don't think that we lost something.
It's really Angst.
Grasp for.
Right? The Angst
It was not the reason why I chose this title. Definitely not.
Okay.
I think we could able to discover something new.
So we have to come to an end. Last short question.
The little house was upside down during the last part of the piece. The little house was still there, but it was upside down.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what?
Okay, thank you very much.